ma'am, of course, this might have stuck your heart or your brain as well, like what was going on to such innocent souls and lives. So how did you manage to actually yourself, first of all, get over it and then entertain people? It's such a hard task, because if I'm thinking about it right now, if you give me a puppet to, entertain children who are going through something bad, I might cry doing the puppet show. How did you hold it together?
Well, I was crying when the kids were laughing, because after that they were just wanting to come back to us, and so I told all my puppeteers to come out of the back scene from behind the theater. Right. I said, come out, so that I could control myself. And so they came out with their puppets, and they were entertaining the kids. And then we gave them out my books, my comic books.
Yes.
And they're over here as well. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that it's a wonderful job done as well. I mean, imagine this book which I have in my hand right now is Mere Shajar Ki Kitab. It's my tree book. And if that's how the books are going to look, I think I would have, I would have been a good student. I mean, if back in the day I had these books as well. I mean, they're colorful and they kind of illustrate. Yeah, they illustrate the, whatever is written in it as well. And not just this, I think, I mean, imagine.
And cultural.
Just look at the titles as well. Different Faiths, One Nation. I think that these are the kind of books everybody needs to read as well. And not just that. Okay, so we are catering to every category.
Yeah.
So we have Gogi's baby book as well.
We're in love with this one.
Which I will try that I'll take off Miss Nigar Nazar as well. but ladies and gentlemen, I think that these books would have helped those children anyways, because of the fact that they're so interesting to read, and then there are those moral messages embedded within these books as well. So obviously they are going to have an impact on your brain.
So can I just add another book to this?
Yeah.
After the puppet show was over, and of course we were asked again and again by the administrator at PIMS to repeat the puppet show, and we did. We never refused. I would take my whole team there, and we'd just put up our deck and run the audio track and start the puppet theater. And we
were you going different places?
Hospital.
Okay.
Because that's where the wards were. That's where there was a psychiatric ward. We'd get the children from there. There was the burnt kids ward. We'd get the children. We would just get kids from all over. And the moment they would hear that Gogi's here with, Gogi's going to be entertaining us with the puppet show, young, old, everybody would come. And that was great.
Exactly.
And of course, this resounding music and the, song and the dancing. But to follow up with that, I did 2 books, comic books on earthquake. क्या था? कुदरती आफात से बचाव के तरीके. So this was done with collaboration of JICA, the Japanese organization. They wanted me to produce a comic book that could tell children in a delightful way the do's and don'ts of a disaster. What do you do? How do you react? How do you combat the situation? You're lost. You're separated from your home and your family.
Where to hide, how to hide, under the table.
I think this is a good moment to actually talk about the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, and so very quickly before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to order these books, there's this email address, work.gogistudios@gmail.com. All you need to do is that you just need to send them an email, and they will deliver it to your doorstep. So ladies and gentlemen, these books we're recommending. And I'm going to recommend every single day as well, that if you want your kids to learn, and if you want your kids to probably have something very fruitful in their hands, I think these are the books they need to read. Work.gogistudios@gmail.com. It's on the screen as well.
All right, so here's the thing. Why don't you, Miss Nigar, begin with the do's and don'ts, physically what we need to do, and then we'll move on to both of you on how, the do's and don'ts of the mind. I hope this makes sense.
Yes,
all right.
So the first thing that the kids were asked to do was keep in their school bags complete page of their home, their parents, the number to contact, and the address.
Okay.
And I remember one picture in which the kids are running, darting outside when the earthquake happens, and one kid is running back to get his bag.
Okay.
Big no. Do not go back. Just run away.
We have these other pictures as well, which we.
These are fun. These are fun cartoons. So yeah. I started with Gogi comics, as you know. And this one is funny because I'm sorry, I'm diverting. But here Gogi is picturizing and taking a video of the rukhsati of the Dulhan. And by the time they're all cried and sobbed and reached the car to be, rukhsat, she's saying, oh, I forgot to take the lens cap off.
Oh,
So you
no
have to go back and
pictures.
start
And do
crying
it again.
again.
All right, all right. So maybe if we can remove the pictures for just right now, because sort of we were on a topic of do's and don'ts, which is so important, because a lot of people need to learn that.
एग्जैक्टली हम अभी असल में बात कर रहे हैं कि ज़लज़ले के अंदर जो है क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, तो ये पिक्चर्स हम बाद में इस्तेमाल भी कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अब तो चले हम दिखाई दी, बताइए.
Right. So what happens is that that's one thing that was written in the book with pictures. Of course, everything is all illustrations and comics. So even those who do not or cannot read can understand what has to be done.
Brilliant.
Then a little kit has to be prepared with a rope, a lighter, a matchbox, and whatever the essentials of a bandage, a scissor, all these things.
First aid kit type of
First aid
thing,
kit at home as well as in school.
Yeah.
Then the other don't was actually, do not run like in a cluster.
Yeah.
Queue up and walk fast, move out, but don't crowd
Create a
each other.
stampede.
Don't be,
Got it.
stamping. What else was there?
Get under the table.
Under the table, so that if something falls from the top, it hits the table and not your head.
Exactly.
And even the window panes. So get away from window panes, go under the table, and also when you're outside, stay away from the poles, the electric poles.
Yes.
Exactly.
Many things, or you
Yeah, Miss Sobia, you want to add? Please go on.
What she's telling, preparedness plan is generated by the schools or by her in a entertaining way.
Exactly.
That children easily learn and ready for the next things. Actually, disaster don't want, especially country don't want a disaster, because we are being
No, but no disaster, no disaster.
It doesn't knock on the
actually,
door.
It takes permission.
Any disaster does not know any gender, any age, so it's going, if it's coming, it's coming.
It happens, and
Exactly.
it happens in.
Which is why I'm going to ask you now, a lot of times, this is something which people talk about quite a lot, that, why did this happen to us only?
Exactly.
So the entire region, all of those people, they were like, why did this happen to me? It was a misery, it was catastrophic, it was devastating, and everything was demolished over there as well. So for people to recover from it mentally is something which is very important, even for their continuous growth.
Exactly.
How do you think that they can come down to a point? Obviously, they've done a wonderful job, but God forbid, if something like this happens in any other part of the world, we need to talk about it. So how do you think that mental preparedness, how do you think that it's going to come along the way?
First thing, the acceptance rate. Because when anything happened, we don't accept. We are in a denial phase. We said, no, it's not happened to me. We always complaining. It should not happen to me. Why Allah has given me due to the sin or anything. We just connect with the different phases, religious or blaming ourselves. First thing, the acceptance. If any disaster, if any unpredictability happen in your life, you need to accept the phase. Then that next plane, what I have right now, because usually we always crying for the things we don't have.
Yeah.
This
it's only
thing
natural.
exactly. These things things weaken your immunity system, especially the psychological system. A guard system is also installed in yourself, and you don't know how to activate it.
Okay.
Exactly.
86 million, especially neurotransmitters, are working at a time in your mind, and they are fighting against the things you don't have.
Yeah.
So important things, the acceptance. Second thing is what you have right now. It means the tools what you have. You have shelter. If you don't have shelter, what you can do? You can approach the community worker or any other, national level and international level. The second thing, you need to if you are the elder one in your family, and you need to take care of the family, and you need to tell them this is the stage, the good times will come, because the words, the positive words come up, heal your mind.
Of course.
In a good direction, actually.
Exactly.
Right.
That's wonderful. Very quickly, just in connection to what you were actually saying and what I was asking was mental preparedness. And, Ms. Sobia over here has actually raised a very, I think, pertinent point where, when you were the elder one, and God forbid you've lost your parents, and then, you have the responsibility of the younger ones as well, and, there's no finances at your disposal, then there's nothing in your hand, and you have this immense pressure every single day. The way, the very moment you're going to wake up till the time you sleep, this is all you're thinking about. And your younger ones, you see them and you see that you do not have a support system because you are the eldest one anyways. And then these thoughts, they just do not stop, they just keep on coming. Do you think that there's any exercise, breathing exercise, something to get rid of such a thought process?
Yeah, and we're asking you, especially Ms. Khadija, because you're the right person here. I'll tell you why. For someone, like you mentioned, your workplace just crashed completely, right? And then you're going back to treat people who have gone through the same thing that you have. So first of all, you have to yourself come out of it. So while you answer his question, also sort of incorporate how to effectively manage conflicts in such a situation.
Yeah. What you have said, actually, I'll start from there. First thing that we do in any sort of therapy is stabilization exercises.
Okay.
Like you develop resources to deal with the situation right at that time. And then there are therapies to develop you,
Right.
to make you grow out of that trauma. You know, one has to have the belief that what has been thrown on your shoulders, because it's in Quran, that what has been thrown on your shoulders is, your shoulders are broad enough to take
Yes,
it.
Exactly.
it's not
So,
beyond your
yeah,
capacity.
so that is one belief that the therapist or the counselor should have also.
Okay.
So you have to start with the stabilization techniques, and the best stabilization techniques are those which you have been practicing since your own childhood. You know, maybe talking to friends, maybe exercising, maybe going for a walk, and then we also teach you breathing exercises and something. That is something which we teach, but we also try to bring out what has been working for you.
Right.
And then we go to the next stage, which is the treatment. The treatment, in the treatment phase, we do not say, you know, Allah better karega, things will be fine with you,
namaz
because
padho,
these
sab
things
theek ho
don't ring
jayega.
true. You cannot tell a person who's lost everything, lost a house, lost a mother, lost a father, lost children, that things will be okay for you. This thing is going to come from within you.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
therapies are made in such a way that they bring out the strengths from you. You don't instill words in the client. You build up the client in such a way that the person is empowered to deal with the trauma.
Exactly.
And we have such good therapies, EMDR, CBT. They are the ones which really bring out the best in you. They empower you. They make you grow. They make you grow out of the trauma. So the memory will remain.
Yeah.
The memory is always going to be there, but you're not going to relive it.
Yeah, you're going to look at it in a very different way.
Yeah, like we see that you have a movie on and you can switch it off anytime. But a traumatic memory which has not been processed is going to take over you. You're going to spend the entire day just thinking of the earthquake. So the treatment is done in such a way that you can switch it off anytime you like.
Or you disassociate the negativity in such a way that, of course, it doesn't.
Yeah. So
it doesn't harden you.
the negativity, actually, you take out the best from that negativity. You have built, it's inherently built
What do we
in
call
you.
that therapy?
EMDR.
EMDR, the same one.
And you know, it's
CBT is also trauma focused. CBT is also very good.
Okay.
It's the fact that you have to take out the positive from the negativity.